There was a time in my life when I believed love was about fitting in. About becoming what someone else wanted me to be. I thought if I changed enough, if I softened my edges, quieted my laughter, tamed my dreams, then I would be loved. But I was wrong. Real love does not ask you to become smaller. It does not ask you to change your colors to match someone else's world. True love is when someone looks at your madness, the way you laugh too loud, the way your mind runs in 1,000 directions, the way you dream without limits, and instead of trying to fix you, they love you for it. But too often, we fall into the trap of believing that we must be normal to be loved. Let me tell you what I have learned. 1. The wrong person will make you feel like too much. I once knew a woman who loved to dance. It was her passion. When music played, she couldn't sit still. But one day, she fell in love with a man who didn't understand her joy. "Why do you have to be so loud?" he would say. "Why can't you just sit still and act normal?" So she started to dance less. She quieted her laughter. She became smaller. And for a while, she convinced herself that this was love. Until one day, she met someone new. Someone who, when the music played, took her by the hand and danced with her. And in that moment, she realized, love is not about finding someone who tolerates you. It's about finding someone who sees you. You are not too much for the right person. The wrong person will make you feel like your passion, your excitement, your quirks are something to be fixed. But the right person, they will look at you and say, "This is exactly why I love you." 2. Love should feel like freedom, not a cage. There is a kind of love that feels like a cage, a slow shrinking of your soul. It doesn't happen all at once. It starts with small things. A look of disapproval when you speak too passionately. A sigh when you laugh a little too loud. A subtle pressure to fit into a version of yourself that feels safer, smaller, easier to handle. But that is not love. That is control wrapped in affection. Real love should feel like freedom. It should be the wind that lifts you, not the weight that holds you down. When you are with the right person, you should feel more yourself, not less. You should feel seen, understood, and encouraged to grow. Ask yourself, does your love make you feel lighter, or does it make you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells? 3. The person who loves you will love all of you. Not just the parts that are easy. Not just the parts that are convenient. They will love your chaos. Your silly habits. The way you cry at movies. The way you dream too big. The way you get lost in your thoughts. They won't say, "You should be more like this." They will say, "I love you exactly as you are." Love is not about perfection. It's about acceptance. 4. Never apologize for being yourself. There was a time in my life when I dimmed my own light because I was afraid it was too bright for others. I held back my laughter, softened my words, and tried to fit into a mold that was never meant for me. But one day, I realized, the people who truly love me will never ask me to be less. And the same is true for you. You were not born to be ordinary. You were not meant to be small. Your laughter, your passion, your dreams, these are not flaws. They are your essence. Do not fall in love with someone who tries to make you normal. Fall in love with someone who delights in your madness. Fall in love with someone who sees the fire in your soul and says, "Let it burn brighter." One day, you will meet someone who loves you not despite your quirks, but because of them. Someone who doesn't ask you to be quiet, but listens to your every word. Someone who doesn't try to change you, but encourages you to grow into the fullest, wildest, truest version of yourself. That is the love you deserve. That is the love worth waiting for. And if you haven't found it yet, be patient. But never, ever settle for someone who makes you feel like you need to be less. If these words spoke to your heart, share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more lessons, share this message with someone who needs to hear it, and let's walk this journey together. Until next time, be mindful, be present, and love fully.